Hello everyone, welcome fellow seekers of myth and meaning to Mythlok, your portal into the rich, mysterious world of mythological beings from every corner of the globe. This is your host Nitten Nair, and today we journey into the verdant heart of Europe through dense ancient woods and over whispering streams to rediscover a forgotten guardian of the wild. She is neither goddess of thunder nor queen of heavens, yet she holds dominion over something just as powerful, the pulse of the living earth. Her name is Abnoba. In the shadowy expanse of Germany's Black Forest, known to the Romans as Abnoba Montes, this elusive goddess once reigned supreme. Her domain was not one of marble temples or thundering skies, but of moss-laden roots, glistening rivers, and animals that slipped silently through the underbush. To understand Abnoba is to understand a people who revered the land as sacred. The Gauls, Celts of what is now France, Western Germany and beyond, believed that gods dwelled not in distant celestial palaces, but in the land around them. Trees, rivers, groves each pulsed with a divine presence, and in the Black Forest, that presence was Abnoba. Abnoba was not widely known across the entire Celtic world. She was something more intimate, what scholars call a localized deity. Her identity was tied deeply to the terrain, to specific rivers, hills, and woods. She was worshipped primarily in southwestern Germany, where archaeological evidence, in the form of altars, inscriptions, votive offerings, has been uncovered near places like Bodenweiler and headwaters of the river Danube. But who was she really? Descriptions of her are scarce in surviving Celtic texts, likely because the Celts passed down stories orally, but through the fusion of cultures during the Roman occupation, we find glimpses of her form. The Romans, encountering Abnoba's cult, saw something familiar in her. A wild goddess of the hunt, guardian of the woods, independent and fierce. And so, they equated her with Diana, their own huntress goddess, and gave her a hybrid identity, Diana Abnoba. In Roman-style reliefs, she might be depicted with a short tunic suitable for swift movement through forest plains, a bow slung across her shoulder, a quiver full of arrows and animals, perhaps a stag or a hound by her side. At times, she is shown with flowing water or springs around her feet, reinforcing her role as a goddess of rivers and natural healing. But her true image perhaps lies not in carvings, but in the wild places themselves. When you walk past the mist-covered trails of the Black Forest, when you pause by a stream, or listen to the hush of the wind in the pines, there Abnoba lingers. Not as a myth consigned to history, but as a spirit ever present in nature. Let's take a moment here to pause. If you've enjoyed this journey so far and if the world of mythology continues to inspire your curiosity, please do support us by subscribing to the Mythlok YouTube channel, the WhatsApp channel, the Substack channel, as well as the Medium platform. You can like this episode, share it with your fellow wanderers of imagination, and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Every bit of support helps us keep these stories alive, from ancient temples to the digital realm. Back to Abnoba. She was more than a huntress. Her domain included forests, yes, but also rivers, springs, and healing waters. Her name itself may derive from the Proto-Celtic root Ab, meaning river, and Noba, perhaps suggesting brilliance or strength. Some scholars believe that rivers like the Avon in Britain might share linguistic roots with her name, suggesting her influence was wider than we realize, flowing like the waters she governed across boundaries. And these waters weren't just symbolic. Springs in the region were considered sacred. People believed the water carried divine healing. Temples dedicated to Abnoba were often built near these springs, including one at Bodenweiler, which became a popular Roman spa town. Pilgrims may have come to these places not just to relax, but to commune with the goddess, to seek purification, health, and balance. There is something beautiful, even timeless in this image of a people so in tune with their environment that their spirituality flowed from the land itself. Abnoba was the earth speaking back, and she listened too. She guided hunters and protected game. She watched over those who honored the forest and punished those who defied it. Yet, unlike many mythological deities, Abnoba does not belong to a cosmic family drama. She has no known divine siblings or children, no mythic battles or betrayals. This absence is not a flaw, but a feature. It tells us that her power didn't come from narrative, it came from presence. She was the forest. She was the river. And that was enough. Today, Abnoba is not as well known as Thor or Athena, but she has not vanished. Modern neo-pagan and druidic movements have begun to reclaim her as a symbol of environmental stewardship. For some, she represents the divine feminine in harmony with nature. For others, she is a protector of ecosystems, of animals, of the delicate balance that sustains life. In museums across Germany, fragments of her worship survive. Carved dedications in Latin, altars weathered by time, maps that still echo her name in the contours of the land. In folklore, she lingers as a whisper in the trees, a guardian spirit of the Black Forest. And in the growing movement towards ecological awareness, Abnoba's essence resonates louder than ever. She reminds us of a time when rivers were sacred, when forests were home to gods, and when humanity lived in deep respect for the earth beneath its feet. And now, dear listeners, I leave you with a few questions. What gods might still dwell in our landscapes, unnoticed? What rivers have we silenced? What forests have we forgotten? And what wisdom did we bury when we paved over the wild? And most of all, in a time when we face environmental crisis, might the myth of Abnoba hold a truth we desperately need? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows of the forest and the echoes of the past. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow, like, and share Mythlok and explore our library of other forgotten gods and mythical beings. This is your host, Nitten Nair, reminding you to stay curious and stay mythical.